Don't come over here getting it wrong. This is not. This is not. This is not. Zone. This is not no judgment. This is not a no judgment zone. This is a place where all of us are God. And all of us are gods, so all of us can judge. All right. If you need me to explain that anymore, support at Ashe Unlimited is my email address. I'll be happy to walk you through what each of those words mean. No, house rule number 2, let's get the kids because we get down. House rule number 3, please stay on topic in the chat. I do realize that some people are going to be coming in during the live, and there may be commenting on some things that have already been said previous in the live. But moderators, if you can keep the folks who are coming in and just saying random shit that ain't got nothing to do with shit, even if it's relevant to the subject but not relevant to the specific topic, please keep them abreast of what's happening. This ain't the place this is not the Dalton Politics Facebook group. So this is not the place to come spout all your Tiffany hate. Okay. This is not the place to just say random things about Black people. Okay. This is the place where we stay on topic. We are extremely intelligent. Last week you're a spanner. This week you're a god. Come on now. That's how it happens. You are one of our elite employees. All right. So Trina, I'm going to go ahead and mute myself. I'm going to turn it over to you.
Okay. And so I thought we were I'm waiting for you to review the meeting. So really, technically, we could just jump right into.
Sounds good to me.
The review of the meeting and finding
out. Sounds good to me.
That is going to be a whole train wreck.
That sounds good to me. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and get this video started then. Give me 1 second. Let me bring it up. The first one we're going to talk about together is going to be Tammie Brown's interview, because there's some things that we want to make sure that we understand about Tammie Brown. Now, we already understand that she don't read her emails. We already understand that she admits that she gets her friends deals with the village and only votes for bills to be paid so that her friends could get paid too. She admitted to all that. I mean, she's a little ditzy. Some things she said just kind of blow my mind when it comes to intelligence. But let's go ahead and take a look at her interview. And before we do, while I'm pulling that up, could y'all let me know in the chat, have you actually taken a look at the interview Tammie Brown did on the Dalton Trustees page with Ed Steve? Is that something that you are familiar with? My lights are hot. My bad, y'all. Let me add this video so we can take a look at it together. No, not that. That.
Greetings. Again, this is former trustee Edward Steve with another one of our great interviews on the Dalton Trustee YouTube page. And today, we have a special guest. We have Trustee Tammie Brown.
Now, while Ed is doing this intro with horrible audio, I haven't actually watched it, Real Magnolia. I'm not really interested in these ladies. I know them to be liars. I know too much of their backstory. I know too much of their business. I know that they try to intimidate people from speaking. So I haven't seen it yet. So I'm interested to see it with you guys because I haven't seen it yet. Let me just remind you, Ed Steve, because I know you don't know a lot about these YouTube streets and media law and how things work. So let me just let you guys know. And I learned this probably my freshman year in college, Ed Steve. So let me just let you know that in 1976, there was a Copyright Act written, and part of that Copyright Act gives allowance for fair use for me to use your data. You've already given me permission, Ed Steve, to use your stuff. You've already given me written permission, but now that you know I don't fuck with you no more, and I know you don't fuck with me, I thought it would be a good idea for me just to restate before you try to attack my channel and have Bella or Jedediah or any of those other people, Dorcas, or anybody else who hangs out in the Dalton Politics group. Before you have them try to attack my channel, let me just read to you the Copyright Act there is allowance given for fair use. Whenever we're using your data for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. So we do have a right to use this data according to fair use, and I will also use it according to YouTube's community standards and guidelines because I'm a professional. So don't come for me. I really am not the one. I'm not. It's not a good idea. So let me go ahead and get this started.
All right. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Tammie Brown. Something about your life in Dalton. Did you grew here? You flew here? Talk about how long you've been in Dalton, your history here.
I actually flew here.
Yeah.
I came from the west side of Chicago, born and raised. I've been in Dalton now 17 years. Actually moved out here to give a better life for my son. I am a single parent.
Yeah. Okay. And you have any grandchildren?
I have 5 grandchildren. I have a 19-year-old, 18-year-old, 16-year-old, 13-year-old, and a 7-year-old.
That's a blessing. What's the best thing about being a grandma?
Oh gosh, you can get them when you want them.
And then you can give them back.
And I can always give them back. But I love my grandchildren.
Yeah.
So far, we're talking to a politician about some shit nobody cares about, but okay.
I love them. I love hanging out with them. We do a lot of things together. I love my grandchildren.
Okay. What's the best thing, or what attracted you to Dalton when you moved here?
When I looked in the area, quiet street, sort of laid back, set back, a lot of seniors, older adults that live in this block, in this neighborhood. And we tend to look out for one another. Yeah. So this block here is like a family. Yeah. Like I've joined a family, one of the younger residents in this neighborhood.
Yeah. And I think the best thing for Dalton is still not too.
Wait a minute. And I'm going to take some notes so I don't interrupt too much, but until I do, I'm going to interrupt. He asked her, what is it that attracted you to Dalton? Now, we've already established that Dalton looks like shit. We've established that Dalton, for the most part, needs a lot of work and a lot of help. So she couldn't really answer the question about what attracted her to Dalton. So instead, she talked about her block. But Tammie Brown, you are a trustee of an entire village, not your block. And although you have a head shaped like one, you are responsible for more than just your block. But what was it that attracted you to Dalton? No, Dalton is not Mayberry. That's the lie Nikita Cloud wants you to hear. Okay? Dalton is a real place with real problems. But I'll let you finish.
Far from the city.
Absolutely.
It's still right outside the city. So if you need to shoot downtown real quick, it's not that far
at all.
What's your professional history? Talk about your history at UPS.
I actually worked 32 and a half years at UPS. I retired as a HR supervisor. I came in 88 as an auditor, where I audit trailers on a part-time basis, and was a part-time student and a full-time mom.
Yeah. So 30 you did 30, how many years did you do?
32 and a half. I was 2 months shy of 33 years.
Yeah, that's nice.
In one place.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
How's your time?
That's not anything to be proud of. I am so tired of Black people being proud of being at one company for the longest and still not leaving as millionaires. You were at UPS for 32 years and you audited trailers. You left as an HR supervisor. So you basically got your job because of tenure. And then you became you retired and became a trustee. Now, I previously gave you kudos for that, but I still haven't been able to make the connection between HR and financial management. And it shows.
Oh, I love it. The best thing ever. I love it. Being able to come and go as I please. Yeah. Some days I get up and say, hey, I'm not going to do anything. Yeah. And then other days, I can do whatever. Okay. I can do whatever.
Wait, you're a trustee and you just told the people you don't do shit.
That's good stuff. So let's get into what was your start in Dalton politics?
My start in Dalton politics, it was something I definitely was not interested in the beginning. Um, my guy back in the day was slated to run for a Dalton trustee. We talked about it. I'm going to run for trustee. Fine, do it. Do it. You know, whatever support you need from me, you got it.
Mm-hmm.
And then he decided, says, well, hey, you know, Mayor Riley, I don't think I'm going to run. I have the perfect candidate for you. And I said, well, you know, let's meet with him. Let's meet the candidate. So we end up having dinner with Mayor Rogers. And he says, well, introduce me to the candidate. And he says to Mayor Rogers, it's my lady. And I paused and I took a look around and said, oh my God, not me.
Yeah.
And he says, why not you? I said, oh, Chuck, my schedule is just too busy.
Did she just say that she was introduced to politics by her boyfriend and that her boyfriend set up a sneak diss meeting with her and the mayor, didn't even have a full conversation with her about whether or not it was something she wanted to do, was qualified to do, had the aptitude, not just the potential to do. And then he set up a dinner with her and Riley and then introduced her as the candidate? That's how y'all do stuff in Dalton? Okay. Okay. I doubt it, but okay.
To get involved in politics. You know, it was definitely the holiday time where you work so many hours trying to staff the various buildings. So I said, oh no, I don't want to do that. I can't do that. I don't know anyone. When I moved out here, I normally talk to my neighbor to the left and to the right, speak to everybody else, and is, you know, in and out. And that's just about it. I knew no one.
Y'all, this bitch is telling you, number one, I don't want to be a politician because I like to wake up in the morning and do what I want to do. And if I don't want to do nothing, I don't want to do nothing. And she said that in the present tense. She didn't say like this is the way it was before I got into politics. She said, I like waking up every day. And if I don't want to do nothing, I don't do nothing. And then she said it was a real inconvenience for her to be in politics because of the work hours. Well, she's only a part-time trustee. And then she says she had no real connections to her community. She might come outside and say hi to her neighbors, see what's popping, you know, see who's cooking or whatever, keep up with what they got going on so she can remain in competition. But she don't build no real connection with her community. She's not involved in any community organizations. She doesn't underwrite any real programs. She's not a philanthropist. She's not a volunteer. The woman just told you. Now, I haven't watched this because I didn't want to do a whole lot of research because I kind of had an idea this would be easy. You know, it's like these aren't lies. This is the truth right in front of you. The woman said, I'm too busy doing absolutely nothing with nobody but Chuck. So I'd love to hear why she actually decided to go ahead and run. Is it the $43,000 part-time salary? Because you don't read your emails and you only vote to get your friends paid. These are your words, not mine.
Out here in Dalton. So I felt that to be very difficult trying to run for a position and I didn't know anyone.
Yeah. Yeah.
She ain't know nobody.
And also, me, Tammy, ran on the same ticket in 2019.
Absolutely.
I was new to politics. You was new to politics.
Now, Ed just said, me and Tammy, I'm going to go ahead and interrupt this if y'all don't mind, because I ain't seen this, and I'm just going to give you what I got as I got it, if that's okay. If that bothers you, let me know in the chat, and I will take notes and then respond accordingly. But some of y'all said you already watched this. So I'm going to go ahead and respond accordingly until you tell me that you want me to stop interrupting, okay? I want to play how you play. Ed Steve just said we ran on the same ticket and didn't know each other. Ed Steve just said we ran on the same ticket and didn't even know each other. Now, I had a conversation with Trina Down last night, and I asked her the question, who you gonna run with? And I said I was gonna try to introduce the idea that she taught me in a way that would make it make sense for people. Well, thank you. I will. And Abby, I do see your question. Hopefully we get an answer to it. But Trina taught me something last night. I wish she was here to say it herself. I think she kind of dropped off. She's out and about right now, so pardon her. But Trina Down said to me, why do I need to run on a ticket? That's what's wrong now. Everybody got to run on a ticket. If you vote for me, you got to vote for all these other people you don't even know. Well, come to find out, them niggas don't know each other either. That whole ticket is some bullshit. It's some bully shit. If you vote for me, you got to vote for my friends. Trina Downs was the one that was like, why? Real Magnolia, you don't have to call me aunt, okay? I have real nieces and nephews who call me aunt. It don't do nothing for me, and all it does is make me feel like you sneak this in. So please don't, okay? Thank you. I prefer if you don't call me aunt because I haven't introduced myself to you as your aunt, okay? I have a nephew named Ty. I have a niece named Jasmine. I have nieces and nephews. I have people who call me auntie. And we have a significant age difference. So I feel like it's a sneak diss, especially when you keep saying it because it's not necessary. All right. So I'm going to give you that one warning reel, and that's it. So anyway, you got these niggas running together who don't even know each other. And Trina Downs was like, why do I need to run on a ticket? Why can't I run as the whatever I decide to do if I was to choose to do that? If that's something I decide to go with, why I gotta get together a gaggle of people? And why is there a picture of Tammie sitting right behind this nigga? It always boggles my mind when people sit up in houses with pictures of themselves all over the place. You don't know what the fuck you look like, Cameo? Word up. Everybody say, you don't know what you look like, Tammy. You got to have a picture of yourself sitting right behind Ed Steve. When you on the other side of him, you don't realize how bad that reads. This is how egotistical and sensitive these people are. This woman done set up and created a set for this interview, which most likely is at her home because it seems like all of them happened at the house. Not an office, a house. She got a mirror, which is horrible for the lighting. We don't do that. And then she got a picture of herself. Like we don't know who the fuck she is or that she's on the other side of the camera. Marlena said, we don't do ticket running down here. So the whole concept sounds stupid to me for a local election. Thank you. And after Trina Downs explained it to me, it sounds stupid to me too. She was like, that's what's wrong with the politics now. Everybody got to run on a fucking ticket. It doesn't make any sense. So you got these two niggas that ran together but don't even know each other. Don't even know each other. He couldn't even start the interview by telling you a little bit he already knew about her. Because he don't know her.
Politics.
Yes.
And we run on the same ticket. And we used to, and I mean, that winter was cold and
very
going
cold.
door to door. And it was me, you, and Andrew Holmes that ran on that first.
Yes.
Now, you know, I had to pause right here. Because somebody said earlier that they stopped watching when they saw she ran with Uncle Fester. Oh, I don't forget. I don't forget. As Shay likes to call him, Gargamel. Shout out to the Real Late Night crew. Shout out to LNC and all that you do. You feel me? She ran with Andrew Holmes, who already had a reputation from a teenager of being a rapist in the community. That nigga turned in his own brother for stealing Amazon boxes. She ran with Ed Steve, who she didn't even know. I know, Real. I know you didn't mean no harm, but I learned a long time ago, if I don't say it right the first time, I have to say it again. I'm raising somebody. So I really, really do appreciate you for dialing that in for me. I'm a youthful looking middle-aged woman, and I love it to be referred to that way. Look, when I was on my cruise last week, the esthetician, one of the esties, tried to allude to me needing anti-aging work. And I was like, nigga, Dr. Morrow, nigga, please, find a wrinkle, find a crow's foot, find a line, find a something. You can search my whole body. I barely got stretch marks. Okay? What you won't do is sit here and try to sell me on something I don't need. Because I drink my water and I mind my business. Okay? And unfortunately, I had to say that in front of some Anglos. What's up, Kai? I'm so glad you're here. I am so glad you're here. So anyway, what you see here in front of you is 3 ugly motherfuckers. Okay? One look like Cameo. One look like Gargamel. I'm gonna keep the last one to myself until later. You're looking at 3 people who don't even know each other, who were endorsed by Mayor Roger for trustee. You're looking at 2 of those 3 people still meet with Mayor Roger on a regular basis. I'm gonna let you guess who. So they were endorsed by Mayor Roger for trustee. They didn't even know each other. Make it make sense. Make it make sense.
Yes.
Together, and there's a lot of history there. You know, it was a lot of good times, and but we ran and we won.
We won.
What was your spirit? What was your thoughts when you won?
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. That particular morning, election day, we woke up. We were getting ready, hitting the streets, going to the various polling places, getting set up. And I
apologize about the video
at the park.
Playing like
at
that.
the Park District was
I'm not sure why, but
my polling place. And I remember being out there. And for some reason, I felt sick that morning.
You should have felt sick. You was doing some shit you
So I
ain't
said,
had
well,
to do.
it's kind of slow. I'm going to take a ride home, which I didn't stay very far.
All right. While this buffers for a minute, I really want to give you some advice, Tammy, because apparently, unlike Kiana Brown, you haven't been paying Nikita Cloud to give you some image consulting. So let me go ahead and help you. No knees. No knees. This is a professional no knees, no open toe shoes. Let me just tell you how we dress professionally. Okay, Tammy? Because it's obvious. It's so obvious. So let me help you. What I'm going to need you to do, Tammy, is I'm going to need you to go get you a tailored skirt suit. Not a pantsuit, because you already are very masculine in your presentation. So I'm going to need you to go get you a tailored skirt suit with a long skirt, like one of them Kojic skirts that come down to either your ankles or 5 inches below your knees. Because your knees are not the right color to be bare. I'm just going to be honest with you because I can. Because you're here. You need to start using some coconut oil or cocoa butter on your knees. But in the meantime, go ahead and start covering the knees because you look unprofessional. You look like you're trying to cover up the fact that you have a horrible midline. Like your waistline sucks. So instead of wearing something that is professional, you're like, okay, I'm going to put it in the shoes. Well, your shoes look like you're going to a dance. Those are not professional shoes. Who did that? You got on patent leather strappy heels with an open toe. Somebody tell her we don't dress like that in a professional setting. We don't dress like that in Latter-day Saints, Church of God. She named all the initials. GMWA, COGIC, LDS. She needs all the initials. What you should have on right now is a suit. Not a dress that cuts off at the knees and it has an A-line on it. It doesn't look professional. You look like you're going to a Mother's Day brunch. Like you should have a big black hat on to make it all make sense. But you've got on, and Ed, stop wearing them mailman shoes when you do interviews, and please wear a tie, and please get your suit tailored too. Y'all getting on my nerves with this bullshit. I feel like I put more thought into my outfits to review these things than they put. A pump. You could do a pump. You could do a wedge. You could do a short heel. You would even maybe because of your age and because you bald headed like me, so we can get away with a kitten toe. We can get away with a kitten toe because it gives us a touch of femininity without hurting our feet. Y'all, we are looking at two unprofessional people who've learned how to be good enough for where they are to succeed. They couldn't make it in Atlanta. They couldn't make it in Dallas. They couldn't make it in Chicago. They couldn't make it in Houston. They couldn't make it in Joliet. Obviously, they couldn't make it in South Holland. They couldn't make it in Calumet City. They couldn't make it in Blue Island. They couldn't make it even in Harvey or Dixmoor. Maybe a peep toe sling back, maybe. But it would have to be a long skirt or a pantsuit. Because right now, those shoes are reading Lucille Ball. Those shoes are reading Arthur Murray Dance Studio. And that dress is reading, I've got to hurry up and go to my son's graduation. But I'm going to need you to cover them knees. I don't know what you were thinking to sit there in a chair with your legs crossed at the ankles and your gap in your knees and then black ass motherfucking knees. I'm mad at you. Because how you carry a badass purse everywhere you go, but your knees look like that? Right? Isn't it weird, Abby, for somebody to have photos of themselves? Now, you see it with, like, stars. You almost expect it. You know, when we went in the house with Kim from Real Housewives of Atlanta, she had pictures of herself. You expect it because, you know, she got a mental disorder anyway. But regular people who are servants, pictures of our kids. She got a bunch of grandkids. She got a bunch of children. But we see behind Ed a picture of her. Not a picture of her with her family, a picture of her grandkids, a picture of her favorite flower. Kamala Harris is purposely ghetto sometimes to make herself look black, even though she's not black. So I get where you're coming from with that. I've seen Kamala Harris in some shit she shouldn't be wearing either. Like, they purposely make her look a little unprofessional so she relates to black people. But y'all don't see that as an insult, even though she's not black. Both of her parents are Indian. Her father is Indo-Jamaican, which means he's from India and he moved to Jamaica. Her mother is a first caste Indian. Her father is a second caste Indian. Both of them would have called you niggas. But we'll talk about that another day. We won't talk right now about the fact that even if you had, let me give you a quick hint. With that dress, you could have kept that dress, take it to someplace and have a couple things pleated in it right here. What do they call that? Not a ruche. Maybe just like have it tailored so it gives you a little bit of shape in the front. You look a mess, Tammy, and you better be glad I can't zoom in. But you allow people to say not to watch me, and you've allowed people to be harassed, and you've allowed channels to be strucken, and you've actually attacked citizens of Dalton. So I don't expect much from an ain't shit bitch.
And I remember calling my grandfather. I'm sitting in the car, and I'm calling him. I'm crying. I'm like, Daddy, I can't do this. I can't do this. It's overwhelming. It's too much. I can't do it. So at that particular time, he says, close your eyes.
Oh, God.
And he prayed for me. And I can always remember this. He prayed for me, and he says, call me when you win. And I took the phone down, and I looked at it like, call you when I win? He has to be crazy or something. Call you when I win. And he says, call me when you win. And that stuck in my head. Polling place is closed. And I remember going back into my polling place. And there were 3 precincts in my polling place. And when I got the results that I had won all 3, oh my God. It just was overwhelming. I couldn't believe it. Like, oh my God, I won. Me? I won. And I'm getting in my car. I had some of my UPSers with me working that day. And we're in the car, and we're hugging each other, and we're laughing, and we're crying all at the same time. because I can't believe that I won. As we go over to the polling place, and the polling place is just full of people there, supporters, residents, people who work for us during election day. We're all there.
In the
campaign office.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, in the campaign office, and we got so many people there, and we're watching the numbers, and as the numbers come in, I see that I've won this precinct, you won that precinct, you won that precinct. I was just, I was just overjoyed. I couldn't believe it. And I remember going outside because I started to cry. It was so funny.
Yeah.
I started to cry inside, and I didn't want anyone to see me cry. So I went outside to my car, and as I sat into my car, my grandfather called and said, "Congratulations." And I boo-hooed all over the place.
Well, you kept that in lit rap. I didn't.
Oh, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
I cried so hard. I just couldn't believe it. And he says to me, "I knew you could do it. I told you to call me when you win." And from that day forth, I just like, oh my God, I really can't believe that this has happened.
Yeah.
From a person who knew
I'm
nothing
waiting
really
for the
about
right
politics.
time.
But I've
Second, you pause. I'm literally waiting for the right time to ask this question because I'm thinking at some point she's going to answer it. But I'm going to go ahead and ask. Tammy, what was your agenda as a trustee? What was your plan as a trustee? What was your why as a trustee? Like what were your hot buttons? What was your why? What was your agenda? What was your platform? What did you expect? What did you promise? Who did you make agreements with? What did you plan to see changed? What are your intentions? Or were you just happy for winning a popularity contest? Because that's all I hear, Tammy. And if you tell me to hear something different, you're full of shit. And if you tell anybody else who watches this to hear something different, then you really are abusive because you haven't said it. You're excited about winning, about being included, about being accepted, about being applauded. But what is your agenda? What's your platform? These are questions every politician gets asked. These are questions every politician has to answer. If you're involved in a political system where there's a debate, and I told y'all I ain't rooting for nobody in Dalton unless there's a debate, because she ain't answered the fucking question yet in a way that would make anybody of intelligence impressed. Is there a message to